is. You just,
Yeah.
you're just in the middle of talking and you're just live.
uh, Hello, everyone. Welcome to Writing Sprint Wednesdays with
Hey,
your
hey.
very organized and non-disheveled hosts, Hank Garner and myself, Doug Lansborough. I'm
How's
just
it
going to
going,
pull this off
everybody?
the screen for a sec. There we go. Now everyone can see us, Hank, and our beautiful selves. Um,
In all our writerly glory.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. On deck
So
today,
for
we
the
have 2 sprints, right?
yes, 2 sprints, and for the next couple of weeks, you're going to have Doug and I hosting
You
sprints as our fearless leader Robert has stepped away from the sprintage for a couple of weeks.
are. Mm-hmm.
I've got
Got
I've got a
other
little
things.
fuzzy thing on top of my microphone that's tickling my nose. More
I
information than you needed. Hello, TW. Hello, Morgan.
hello, everyone. Yes, all our writerly glory.
Yeah. What are you working on
the
today, Doug?
I have to start a new chapter. I'm still working. I've mentioned this a couple times. The plot line that I've been ignoring for the entirety of my book that is now intersecting with the main plot line. I'm writing that. So
Nice.
the arc that goes along with that, with the secondary character associated with it, is just had its like inciting incident, you might say.
Yeah.
So now that character has to go through a moment or two of growth and change. So I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
Nice.
Uh,
Nice. I will be
ah,
working on the book that I started, I don't know, a couple of months ago during Writing Sprint Wednesdays. And the funny thing is, I pretty much only work on this book on Writing Sprint Wednesdays and then think about it for the rest of the week. And Tuesday night, I'll go into my plot grid and see if I've come up with any more brilliant ideas since last week and make some adjustments. So I've got Dabble open on one screen with my plot grid, and I've got my writing sprint open on the other screen, and I'll be referring back and forth. Probably a lot of sitting and scratching my head today. So
excellent.
don't expect big numbers out of me today. We'll see. We'll see if if we can tap into that flow state. And
We have a couple comments worth noting here. One, the kindest one I've ever received from TW. Well, in general, but it is from TW. When Epic Workshop yesterday, it was so good. My husband, who normally sits quietly in the background, a man who has never read a book in his life or had any interest in writing whatsoever, is jumping up and down, excited to share some book ideas. That's fantastic. Well, I'm glad your husband found
love
this so
that
valuable.
so
Yeah.
much. That's
I
amazing.
need to like frame that, I think.
Yeah.
Made TW's husband excited about writing. But then a little less exciting, Kara here had a nightmare yesterday. Logged into Dabble, everything had disappeared. Oh, okay. You contacted support. You haven't tried login yet today. Okay. Hopefully, I when I first read that, I thought this was actually a nightmare that you had.
Right.
That's a waking nightmare. So hopefully that gets cleared up. Let us know.
Yeah.
They're okay. You're logged in. It's back now. Excellent.
I was about to say
Oh,
we have the best support in the industry. So
yeah.
I felt pretty confident that our support team could work that out. I hate
If
to speak,
anyone can do it,
but
it's them.
we have great devs working, spinning the wheels in the background.
Now,
Easy.
no matter what you're working on, I'm glad that you're here to join us, editing, writing, whatever. Last week I shared a Spotify playlist I was listening to while I was writing. I'm gonna do that again this week, just for
That's a great
funsies.
idea. I should have done that ahead of time, and I didn't. But that's
I only remembered now, so
great.
next time we'll
I
discuss
posted
it
a
ahead of
link
time.
to the first sprint earlier. If you scroll up through the chat, you should see a link there, and we'll post a link to the second sprint after this one. But I'm going to be writing in the first one. You're going to take the second one, Doug.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Alrighty, and I think we have about 30 seconds till it starts. I'll pop this back
There's,
up. Whew, there you go.
need time to properly caffeinate.
All right. And once we're done this sprint, since we're about to start, let us know what you're working on, what you're writing, what you're
Yeah.
editing. If you're inspired, if you're a premium member, whatever you learned yesterday, if that inspired you. But yes, as TLV says, good luck, everyone. And we'll see you on the other side.
All right. Mm.
Alrighty.
Oh,
There we
man.
go.
I felt like I was typing with someone else's hands. I kept flubbing stuff up and going back and having to erase. And man, you ever have
It
days like that where
happens.
your fingers don't want to
Sometimes,
work?
yeah, the way I've described it to my wife before is sometimes I feel like I'm typing through like oil or syrup.
Mm,
Like the fingers just don't want to move the way my brain wants them to, and
yeah,
that can be very like frustrating,
yeah. I
right?
felt
Because
like I was
you
typing through chocolate pudding.
oh, I haven't had
It's
chocolate pudding in a while.
anyway, I got 717 words, which in retrospect is not terrible, but
No,
you
that's
know,
great.
yeah.
I got 897 this time around. I do know though, however, like as I was typing them, I realized, hey, this sentence is not going to make the cut. I'm just kind of putting it here because I need to move on. So
Yeah.
that's what I find a lot with sprints is that you get a lot out, but of course we're going to trim a lot of it later.
Yeah, well, for me, it's I have sentences like that, and it's not that I'm looking for a sentence to keep. It's that I'm looking for sentences that will. Uh, my outline, I build the frame of the story, and here I'm adding some structure to it, but the
Yeah,
structure is going to change. This is
yeah,
just helping me to that another pass will come in and make the sentences look pretty.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Kara here saying 404 words, which is excellent, Kara.
good job, Kara.
Um, usually don't do over 200 when I'm starting. I don't think I've ever gotten 717 words during even a 30-minute sprint, let alone a 15-minute one. Well, I mean, if you follow along with the 60-day novel challenge with Hank and I and
Oh,
Robert when he returns, I guarantee I can all but guarantee we will get you to 717 words by in a 30-minute sprint by the end of November. I think
100%.
if you're at 404 in 20 minutes, absolutely we can get you to 717.
Renee, this made me chuckle. A word crawl. Good job on the 381 words. That's
Yes.
that's magnificent. Word crawl made me chuckle.
Some
Yeah.
days you just have a word crawl.
Some days you just have a word crawl. It just happens that way sometimes. Well, for the group, we got 2018 as
Excellent.
a group. That's a chapter.
Yeah.
That's a whole chapter. You know.
Yeah.
Who was it that was on our podcast / YouTube channel last week, and he talked about working with James Patterson, and that they shoot for 750 word chapters, I think it was.
Really? I
Yeah,
missed
they
that
keep
episode.
keep them punchy, like
Yeah.
basically 3-page
Oh
chapters
my
where
goodness.
bam, 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 bam. You want to keep those pages turning. You want people to avoid sleep so that they can read one more chapter,
Just keep
you
going.
know. And at that case, we wrote almost 3 chapters,
Yeah.
as a group. That's amazing.
I want to point out Linnea's comment here. And apologies if I'm mispronouncing that, but new to writing, just have to say this is so wholesome. It's exactly the kind of encouragement I need to get back to writing after spending the entire day studying because it's 8 p.m. in Sweden. That's
That's what we're
fantastic.
here for.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And just the comments say the chat has just been like a serotonin boost.
Right.
They're all making me feel so good today.
I know. So good. So good.
Kara saying that you do how you do. If you don't hit that 717 in half an hour, that's fine. Exactly. Yeah.
That's
I guess I
that's
was
right.
overly enthusiastic with that, but yes, you do you.
And
Absolutely.
everybody's goals are different. Everyone is setting out to achieve something different. Some people's brains work different. Some people,
Hmm.
like this story I'm writing, I've been thinking about for a long, long time. So it it's things I've been wanting to write for a long time, so the words come easy. Sometimes with a new project where I'm really just figuring out the characters, I don't really have a voice for those characters yet. It comes slower.
Yeah.
It just all depends on where you are and what you're writing.
Yeah.
All progress is good progress, though.
Yes. Yeah, it's more than zero. And that's what, after the workshop yesterday, I was feeling pretty drained. Also, do we have a second link ready to go? We're just kind of chatting away
No,
here, but
you keep chatting. I'll
okay.
make a.
So I was feeling very drained yesterday after the workshop, and not because it was a bad workshop. It was a lot of fun. I loved it. But it's, just it was 2 hours, 15 minutes of me talking nonstop and interacting with the fine folks who were there. And I realized I hadn't done any writing that morning, and I can't kill my writing streak, right? I need to write something. So I sat myself down and I had what I am coining from Renee there, a word crawl. And it took me probably 25 minutes to write about 450 words, I want to say, because sometimes that's just how it happens, right?
Yep.
So yeah, it was better, but it was better for me to have that half hour of writing that is, less efficient, if we want to use that term, than what I'm writing right now, but I still got some writing done. So
Yeah. I created the new sprint 4 minutes until it kicks off. The links are in the chat. I want to pull up this comment from Kara. Please forgive me if I don't say that exactly right. I have ADHD, PTSD, and a host of other neurological and psych stuff. I've learned it's better not to compare myself with other people, or I'll sink into self-loathing very quickly.
yeah.
We never want you to compare yourself to any other writer, whether it's us or anyone in the chat or any guest that we have on the podcast. What we want to do is encourage you to show up. Every day that you commit to writing, show up. And the numbers, all of that is not relevant. What is relevant is that you show up and you tell the story that you have inside you to get out to the world. And speaking of that, we're going to have a special broadcast live on our YouTube channel next week, next Wednesday, right after Writing Sprints. We've got a number of authors who are going to join us for a bit of a pep rally, if you want to look at it that way, kind of a pre-game as we kick off the 60-day writing challenge. And these are all authors that have published more than 20 books over the last decade or so. And they're going to stop by not to make you feel bad about where you are, but to show you that it can be done, and just to spread some goodwill, some cheer, and to cheer everybody on. So next week after the writing sprints, when Doug and I finish, hang around on the same channel here, and we're just going to have a fun little kickoff before Doug and I and Josh do the official kickoff on Thursday of next week. So all in good fun, all in, and Doug and I kind of prod each other and jokingly, teasingly joke, I guess you could say. But it's all in good fun. We love and respect each other, and we, the same for each of you. Don't ever compare yourself to anyone else. But we hope that you come here for encouragement and just to be around people that are in the same boat as you are and have the same goals and aspirations that you do.
Yeah. I want to say, Kat here, working on a movie script for fun. That's awesome, Kat. Tell us a little bit about it in between scripts, or not scripts, sprints. And Kara, clarifying the pronunciation of the name. Thank
Kara,
you very much.
thank
Yeah.
you.
I've met both, so it's tough when we only have text to go on. But yeah. And Kat there has autism, ADHD, and is still writing movie scripts. So bravo.
Bravo.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
And TW is not going to be around much next week for those exciting events. So LTW, you can catch up on the recordings. I know it's not as much fun as harassing me live about maps. Right. But you can still have a good time, and then we'll quiz you about it later or something.
Yeah.
And Kat's script is full of tropes. That's fine. Tropes are fantastic. People love tropes. As long as your tropes don't border on cliche, you'll be all right. And even if they do in the first draft, you can kind of polish that out when you revise it. TW, you didn't do any harm. I'm just teasing you.
We're 30 seconds away. Doug, you're going to take this next sprint, correct?
Oh, I am going to take this one, aren't I? Okay. Yeah. Bear with me here. Present. Is that the right? Oh, that's the one. I think that's the, yep. There we go.
Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, here we go. We'll see everyone on the other side. All righty. There we go. Oh, there's my pal Hank.
Hey, so I did better this time. I get
Good.
916 words, which I attribute to me not being on stage and not feeling like I had to constantly backspace to fix
That's
errors.
fair. That's fair.
That's a very real thing that happens when you're doing writing sprints, is that you're self-conscious about your typos and never wanting to leave a typo on the screen. I'm constantly backspace, and fixing my fat finger.
I had to take a moment because I, as I say every time I have my writing on screen, I write some pretty dark stuff, right? And so I have somebody in this passage calling somebody else a jerk, which is not the word that shall be used in the final the final version.
Did you put jerk in like brackets so that you can just
no,
search?
I'm gonna go and correct it before I paste it into Dabble. So
I'll do stuff like that sometimes. Just put brackets or curly braces, something that
yeah.
would not show up in a manuscript regardless. And then you
Or I'll
just
do
search
all
for that.
capitals sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
Kara got 563 words. Fantastic. That's awesome.
Great.
Yeah, and as a group, 4 people participating in the wordsprints.org sprint, we got 2,700 words.
Boom.
Awesome. Kat
You're
got
awesome.
282 words and finished Act 1. That's fantastic, Kat. Great job. That's awesome. Okay, well, we have come to the end of this writing sprint. Thank you everyone for joining us. We had a little more chatting in between, but I actually think that was nice. It was good.
Yeah.
We thanks everyone for participating in the chat and in the sprints today. I had a fantastic time, Hank. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, a large time.
And what's our next event coming up that we want people to join us for?
Next event, we've got Writing Sprint Wednesdays next week, of course. Let me get my calendar on the correct month.
We have Penn Cole on Tuesday.
Yes, and we're going to be talking about romantasy, and
which is a hit.
Yeah, and she has a couple of books that are on fire right now, and she is a hybrid author, someone who started as an indie author and continues to publish indie books while also one of her series has been picked up by a major publisher. And so she's got experience not only in this new fantasy subgenre that's just on fire right now, but she also is going to have some great insight about indie publishing, trad publishing, the mixture of the two. I think it's going to be a fantastic conversation.
Yeah, and even I, a person who doesn't read a lot of romantasy, even I recognize the covers for her books. So, so they've got to be a hit.
Oh yeah, and what you can really tell when a publisher is really putting a lot of resources behind an author, because I got a copy of the book from her publisher, and it's hardcover, and when you take the dust jacket off, the hardcover is embossed, and they spent a lot of money on this book, is what I'm trying to say. The full color inserts inside the covers, lots of little things that cost the publisher a lot of money. And when you see stuff like that, you know that the publisher sees that as someone in a genre that they want to put all of their money behind. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, well, thank you everyone for joining us, and we will see you next week. Have a fantastic week. Bye.
Bye.